Welcome back to Marketing Unplugged, where we break down real estate, marketing, and a path to affordable home ownership through manufactured homes. Today's guest is from Credit Human, Joseph Best. Thank you for joining us today. One of the more modern banks that we have available to us, or credit union available to us. Whether you're navigating credit issues, down payment stress, land situations, or maybe you just don't have any idea about finances, you're not familiar where to start, you don't have a hold on your finances, this episode could unlock your cheat code for that.
Yes, so I'm Joseph Best. I am the new business development executive for the manufactured housing division for Credit Human. What that means is that I cover the sales territory that includes Texas and New Mexico, and I come up with business strategies to improve efficiency and do what I can to make sure that our name is out in the market with a positive reputation.
So whether you're navigating credit issues, down payment stress, placement options, you have a situation for us, and we're going to talk about that in this episode, right?
Absolutely. We got a little bit of everything for members of all kind of walks of life. So I think that we're definitely in a good place to talk about these strategies here.
So if you think you can't get a manufactured home loan or any home loan and it's too difficult, think again.
Absolutely. Definitely reconsider that. Today's world, everybody sees home ownership as an unattainable goal. Well, manufactured housing is providing an option that can actually allow this to happen. What I do is make sure that our department is set up to offer different things into the community to make sure that we are giving an option for people to come in and get themselves a home loan that achieve that home ownership dream.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So you're new with Credit Human. We've known Credit Human for a long time. Let's start with your story, Joseph. Tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get into the whole world of lending with Credit Human?
Right. So I kind of stumbled into it. I had a former boss while I used to work at Allstate who worked in the collections department. He gave me a call and offered me a position as a remarketing specialist. So
That's like repos and stuff like that, right?
exactly.
Foreclosures? Okay.
Sometimes when the loan goes under, the manufactured home has to be sold, and we have to try to recover whatever we can. Because as a credit union, we're lending based off of our membership's money. So it's good stewardship, and that was a good entryway into the home loan program, seeing what it was like on the back end. After that, I spent some time there and was promoted as a loan advisor. And this is where I really understood what the consumer was needing. I spent time as a loan officer. We called it loan advisors because in Credit Human, they don't set commission out for these roles. They set them on a salary. The idea is we want to provide unbiased and good advice to make sure that people are putting themselves in good positions and understanding what their options really are.
Okay. That's a lot of good, solid points there. So is that what attracted you to Credit Human and specifically the manufactured home side? Because I know we had a former rep. He was with them for a long time. And then next thing I know, you're knocking on our door.
Right. So what brought me into was just the stumbling in fact, but what kept me there was I started to understand what we were doing and how important it was to the community, but even more importantly, why Credit Human was their mission. Once I understood what their mission was and saw that they were actually about it, and for awareness, Credit Human's mission is to build financial slack within the community. That is our mission statement, and they really embodied that part of it. And I saw it as a real company that's sticking to what they say. And learning through this was so fun to see how many different people we were able to put into a home while not having to pay an arm and a leg for a loan.
Right. Yeah, that's an awesome point. So what's something most people don't know about Credit Human or your role that caters to the type of clients that we normally work with?
Right. So what people don't understand about Credit Human is that in the manufactured home world, I think nationwide, we are the only credit union that is doing this. And what that means for Credit Human and your particular clients is that they're not going to just be another transaction, they're going to be a member.
So what I'm trying to do is really patch up the relationship between a lot of our mortgage companies and our retail agents or our sales consultants to quit viewing the land home process like a big scary process.
Right.
It's across the board all over, every retailer that you go to. Home only loan is number one, of course.
Right.
And a lot of customers come in, they don't have land. So why is the home only loan number one? Because they're scared of the big scary process. They're scared of how difficult the land home loan can be, how long it's going to take. But we have a lot of bank representatives such as yourself that's going to help us to patch up those holes there.
Absolutely.
Make it all make sense for not only the customer but for the retail agent as well. And that's really what I appreciate, and that's how we're going to drum up a lot more business with you guys, better rates for our customers, and better houses too, because if the rate is better, then they can afford more home.
That's true. One big thing with like the land home on the whole scary part that I feel like Credit Human does separate a little bit is we're not going to limit them to your FHA. A lot of your manufactured home loans have to go, when you're doing land home, go through this FHA. When you use us, it's a conventional loan, and we skip a lot of that headache that does come with the FHA process.
And extra fees.
All the extra fees, private mortgage insurance, we don't require that, where a lot of your FHAs might. And then, they need concrete runners or permanent fix. With us and our conventional land home product, it is easier and it's a lot less scary. So we can do it quicker than what people think is going to happen.
Right. So as a business manager, we kind of view that as the path of least resistance. Whatever loan is going to be easier, faster close is the path of least resistance.
Right.
But this could also be the path of least resistance as well if they do it right.
Right.
And you guys are there to help us with that.
We're going to keep their loan for the whole life of the loan, which is good peace of mind knowing where your loan is going to be and who you can call when you need anything done for that.
Okay. Well, that's pretty awesome. With my experience in this industry, we've heard of banks in the past selling notes and selling it so many times.
Right.
Some of my clients don't even know who owns it anymore.
Right.
They don't know who to make their payment to. So that's a really awesome point. So we've noticed that Credit Human's tone has changed as far as marketing goes. They have a lot of catchy slogans now on their billboards. It seems to me like they're trying to appeal to a younger crowd. It's not just their marketing either. They've totally rebranded, right? This used to be SACU back in the day.
Yes, we're SACU. We're actually the second oldest credit union in the state of Texas. So we've been around for a long time. We changed our name about 7 years ago to Credit Human. And the thought was, we started breaking into the market nationwide, especially in our manufactured housing division. We're now in 43 states, and San Antonio Credit Union, as established of a name it is, it wasn't as appealing. If you go nationwide, it's like, okay, San Antonio, we're associating that with here, but we thought we're trying to get bigger than that, and what bigger than just encompassing human. So Credit Human, we're giving credit to the humans of this world, which actually goes into what we are, the whole mission behind it. And to bring back that point, we're trying to be in the community to build that financial slack. So that was a big push for that rebranding, was to think outside of just here locally, but to be local nationwide, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I know I passed by your corporate office on my way home.
Yes.
There's a lot of billboards around it, and it seems like they're more geared towards helping rather than just, hey, we're another credit union.
Right.
We're another credit union. Let us help you get your finances in check, get your finances in order. And that's something I tell all my customers as well. They want the nicest, fanciest house. Yes, that's great, but I want to get them everything that they can use to live in the home and not be house poor.
Absolutely.
Right? You guys just coined the phrase better financial slack.
Right.
That's what it is.
And to that, we have taken the next step. I don't know if you've noticed, but around town we started closing down our traditional branches. we've actually replaced those with financial health centers. These are,
That's really cool.
yeah, it's a whole center now where instead of just going in and getting your traditional banking experience, you can walk in and leave with the financial education. We have on staff, instead of bankers per se, we have member specialists who are there to advise them on our different products that could help build credit, that could help build a savings account. And again, go back to your point, we could approve somebody at 60% debt to income ratio if we wanted to, but then we know that all they're going to have is that house, and at that, they're going to be struggling month to month with no, and the key word there is slack for what's to come and all the unexpected challenges that life does bring us. So
That's awesome. So along with this new modern phrasing you guys are using in the marketing, appealing to a younger generation, what digital avenues are you guys using? You mentioned the financial health centers instead of bank lobby, right?
Right.
What about like social media, any other digital avenues that you guys are using to appeal towards these younger crowds?
Yes, so it started with the branding, and now we are using that branding to try to catch everyone's eye through social media. We have our different departments have their own social medias, but we also have an entire team that is dedicated to promoting us through that marketing strategy. We also, in our industry in particular, we have a reputation that has been around for a while. Been in manufactured housing for over 20 years now. So we kind of use that reputation to market our name as much as we can through these different platforms. So, of course, email blasts, campaigns like that. And we're trying to actually get away from using paper for marketing. We're a sustainable company. Our building is very sustainable. It's actually the third most sustainable building in the United States when it was built. So we're stopped with the traditional paper method. We're not just handing out flyers at people's doorstep anymore, but we're actually turning to the digital as often as we can.
That's really awesome. And you touched on something about your building. We're gonna go off topic a little bit, but
Okay.
that thing looks nice, man.
Yes.
It's really awesome. How old is that?
So we built it, started construction in 2018, and we all got into it right around COVID time. So into 2020, just a couple cool key points about that building. It has more solar panels than any other building in the state of Texas. So right now, San Antonio is paying us to pull power from there. And it's actually in the Pearl, beautiful, cool area. Well, we've taken some of the old Pearl Brewery's beer vats and have converted them into rainwater catchers. We've also installed 150,000 gallon recycling tanks underneath the building, 2 of them. And I think one of my favorite bragging points about the whole building is that around 600 people are working there, but we make an economic footprint of a family of 4 on a daily basis because of how that building's structured.
That is really cool. I've noticed the aesthetics, the fascia. It does match the area, the Pearl, like you said. I've seen the beer vats.
Yes.
I thought they were decorative, so it's functional.
Very
That's
functional.
really awesome.
Yes.
Tons of windows too, right?
Tons.
So, not only do you care about the members, but you also are taking care of the environment as well,
Absolutely.
reducing your carbon footprint.
Our thought is sustainability. And like you said, it's a sustainable approach to how we built the building, but we're trying to put people in positions to live a happy and sustainable life. Not just a big flash in a pan, but something that they could long term have the education to know how. It's like that old phrase, we could give a man a fish and feed him for a day, but now we're just trying to teach them how to take care of their finances and be set up for life. So
That's really cool.
Yes.
Now, as far as for the retailers, right?
Okay.
Because that's what we want to know. What
Yes.
are you guys doing for us? You did mention paperless. When we're helping our clients get into the home, is there some kind of digital aspect that we can expect, a portal, anything like that?
So right now for our direct side, we do have a portal. We are working to have a functioning portal where our retailers will be able to load conditions into there. Make it even quicker, just a checkbox on there. Is it cleared, under review, whatever needs more information on. That's one of the next steps to make it easier for y'all. I think a big thing that we're pushing to try to make y'all's life easier as well is we have staffed up more. So we have more real people there to answer your phone calls when y'all need something. All these loans have different situations. Everybody's life takes a different turn. We're trying to just have as many people as we can to be there to answer those phone calls for y'all when you actually do need something.
Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. One of the goals of our company is to make it easier for our clients to get into the home, not just the moving aspect and everything, but the lending side of it first.
Right.
So yes, submitting conditions, getting them cleared. That a lot of our clients they might have a question or two when
Right.
submitting them. So we need that real person, but at the same time, the digital side makes it easier to help them move forward and we can close faster.
Yes. So I do agree that having that digital tool there is important. We are utilizing a tool called Loom now that is going to provide our retailers with as much education through a quick video that could summarize something that maybe we missed a point. And as far as the client, we are having our loan officers, and we actually went from having 2 loan officers to having 5 for this specific thought. We want the customer to have somebody that they can talk to from the bank side as well and know that there's a phone call away. And also, that loan officer, half of their job is just preparing that customer for how to make their life easier through the next steps. Yes.
That's awesome. So new rules, new rates, new opportunities. If you have land, if it's family land, or even if you don't have land, you guys have something to help everybody with, right?
Yes.
So let's dive into credit. What kind of credit profiles are you guys typically looking for in order to get someone approved? My clients come to us. We have credit issues sometimes. We have income issues sometimes. The debt to income ratio might be a little high. Sometimes they don't have land. I have to help them find property. Our real estate agents will help them find property. Sometimes they have land. Sometimes it's family land.
Right.
If they have land, they're probably going to be making payments on that as well. How can you guys help our customers build that financial slack with those issues in mind?
So we are trying to have a program for everyone. Now, typically the general profile that we are looking for is a credit score of at least 660. We're looking for a few years of installment history and typically a 5-year total credit history time. With that, you'll be able to get into any of our 3 major programs that we do have. So, home only in Texas, there are opportunities popping up all over for different communities, but it almost seems like everybody's got a family member with some land. So, if you don't have the land and you're just trying to finance a home, we have a chattel product just for that. It's a 20-year program, 20-year term, conventional, and it's going to have a big advantage versus a lot of the market, which is one, like we kind of touched on earlier, that you're going to be keeping your loan inside of one portfolio with one team, which means we're not trying to charge an arm and a leg up front. So you're going to skip all the origination fees when you get a loan with Credit Human. So our home only program, it is 20 years. It is no penalty for early payoff. So if you've got somebody who just needs a loan for, to get them over the hump while they're getting situated, but long term want to pay it off, that's a great program for them. They can put that, whether it's on private land or in a community, or if they're going to put that, as long as we have an address, we're okay with that home only. Our land home program is perfect when they come to a place like this. They want something that's going to be their own. They need a piece of land. They need a trusted partner to help them find that land. And you guys do a great job of finding the land and putting the home together. So we are going to do our part of offering, again, no origination fees for a land home program. It's 25 years, also conventional. Again, it's going to be a portfolio land that can stay here. Now, we will advance for the land and for the home and make sure that There's even room for improvements because sometimes that land's not ready to go.
9 times out of 10, it's not ready.
Right. So what do y'all need? You need to add a driveway, septic system, whatever it is. Y'all can roll that into the loan and make sure that, that land and that home are going to be ready to go. Now, if you already have some land and it's fully paid off and you're looking to maybe offset the down payment as far as which tier you're going to be in, you can use our land in lieu program. So what's the land in lieu program? You've got $100,000 house that you're trying to purchase. You want to use your land as collateral and it comes back, let's say, at $20,000 for your land. Well, we'll value the land at the $20,000 and give you a rate as if you were putting 20% down for that piece of property. So instead of that rate at a 5%, it's going to be about 0.2 to 0.4 lower depending on where your land does value. Right. Again, it's a real estate loan as well, so it is 25 years and it is conventional. Also no origination fees, and our total processing fee for both the land and the land in lieu is $9.99 total.
So in essence, they're using the equity they've built in the property
right.
that they've owned to get a better rate, to get a better payment, an overall better loan.
Yes.
Because the main thought when we say land in lieu is we're taking their land away.
Right.
Right. But in this case, the truth behind land in lieu is they're making their land work for them.
Absolutely.
Correct.
And I think it's a big misconception, like you said. They think that going this route, their land is no longer theirs. That's not the case. If you are going to make your payments and then you get to keep that land. It's also a misconception. I feel like people think land in lieu. They think that, okay, well, I've got $40,000 worth of land. My loan is going to be $40,000 lower than it was. Also not the case. Mm-hmm. You're still financing the total amount because that land is yours. We're not touching it. You're not giving it to the dealer for a down payment, but it is a great way to get yourself a longer loan, whether it's you want that extra 5 years so you'll have a lower payment, but it's also a great way to place yourself in the highest tier that you can without having to come out of pocket for anything.
Yeah, I like the way you said it. They're not giving it to the dealer as a down payment.
Right.
That's perfect, because that is the misconception a lot of times. They're giving it away, but they're making the system work for them.
Yes.
And with the tools that they're given, which is their property.
Absolutely. And I did want to be clear. It can also be inherited land. So
okay.
It doesn't have to be land that they paid off. It could be land that was gifted to them. If their parents are on a big 30-acre land and they're going to track off 5 acres for them as a gift, they can use it still as land in lieu and not have to come out of pocket for anything.
That's great. Yeah. It's very, this whole process can be very sentimental for our clients.
It is.
Especially when it's inherited. We do get a lot of inherited property, and it's beautiful property as well. So I understand why they can be a little nervous during that process.
Absolutely.
Now, as far as when I'm going to submit my customer over to you guys, okay, and we're about to go into underwriting and we're looking to get approved. I noticed the underwriting requires 5 trade lines, no bankruptcies or repossessions in the last 5 years. I mean, That's pretty doable. That's understandable.
Yes, and it sounds, for some, like in this industry, the big stereotype is that this is for low credit buyers, and it's not. This is a great opportunity for so many Americans who don't want to be house poor, but have some land. Maybe they want 2 acres and to still be able to go on vacation 3 times a year. We are trying to have a program that's there for everyone. Now, it is also a program that is there to reward those who have taken good care of their credit. And that, again, comes back to the concept of a membership. It's attainable as with a couple steps. So if you have a customer who thinks they don't have enough trade lines but has a pretty good feeling their credit score is okay, you can put them through, get them in touch with either our loan advisor or underwriter, and we could try to make a Klarna work or some of those afterpays, or again, trying to maybe a rental history. Or I've even joked around they should have a gym membership as part of an option for them. So we are definitely exploring, and I think me coming into this role is going to bring a perspective from the age of a lot of your first time home buyers as well.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it's awesome. Especially because everybody's signing up for those things nowadays.
We have different products to attain these types of goals. So when you do get with a financial, one of our member specialists, you can tell them what your goal is. And if you're like, well, I want to buy a house, they're going to ask you, when do you want to buy a house? And they'll sit down with you and draw up a plan on how you're going to get to that point. So I do think if somebody wants to attain that and is intimidated, they could come to these financial health centers and find out where they stand today and what they need to do to get to that level to where they'll feel comfortable to send that application and get into their dream home.
That's really awesome. I don't think there's very many institutions out there that offer that, and I get it now. I get why we're changing that banking lobby feel and of the different branches, and it's more of a counseling type
Absolutely.
type place. It takes away the whole fear of going in at the bank and feeling prejudged.
Right. Yeah.
Credit challenges, no land, family land, you guys have options to help. So Joseph, one strategy that I've developed with our locations is we're finance specialists. Okay, so we're going to also offer the same kind of counseling with our customers looking for a manufactured home. Now, that being said, we do have other lenders that we work with, and we try to find the best strategy for them to get into the home using the approvals that are available for them. Why should we stick with Credit Human when we're shopping around the rates and approvals with our customers?
The biggest why is the peace of mind that customer is not going to be just another transaction with Credit Human, but they are going to be a part of our credit union. They're going to be a member, and essentially, hopefully they'll be a Credit Human just like I am.
That's really cool. Well, we would definitely take that into consideration when we are looking at the different approvals for our customers.
Absolutely.
So let's compare your loan programs. Can we break down the difference between home only and land home options as far as term goes, down payments, that kind of stuff?
Yes. So they're going to be two different types of loans right off the bat. Your home only is considered a mortgage loan, but it's also considered personal property. So a big thing that people don't know when they go into buying it is that if you have your land and you're doing a home only option, you're still going to have a separate tax on it. Now, in the past, and people associate manufactured homes with needing a larger down payment. But we're still providing a 5% minimum down option. Now this applies we have two different programs. We have a fixed program and we have a step rate fixed program. And this actually applies for both of our home only and our land home programs. Now, why I like these two options is if you are in the market and you see what the rates are today and you're telling yourself like, oh, this is scary, I don't want to go into this because they're higher than I expected. Well, these programs, like the step rate, for instance, is a great way for you to actually start building equity faster. It's a 5-year program at first where there's going to be a period where your rate will be lower than anything you see in the market right now. And then it jumps up at the end for a different 15-year term, but it's fixed on both sides. Not like the scary
I
traditional.
was just about to ask the balloon payments,
Yeah,
the things that make movies about.
Exactly.
Those kind of loans.
Yeah. This is a conservative approach, sustainable, kind of like our whole motto that we try to do. It's going to be tell you what the payment will be at the first term and then tell you what it will be at the second term. This is a great option for those who are thinking that they might want to refinance their loan at some point if the market comes down or if they're planning on paying it off early. but it also builds equity quicker, which as a first-time homeowner is a great advantage to try to have.
There's really no need to wait until rates come down. They can go ahead, jump in it now,
Right.
and then later when rates come down, refinance at that point. But they're still getting a better rate now.
Right. Well, it's like that old expression goes, you marry the house, but you date the rate. And with Credit Human, one big advantage that you'll have that's takes away some of the fear of, well, what if I can't refinance? What if it costs a lot? Is we have a refinancing program called a streamlined refinance, which means you're part of Credit Human. We're not going to go do an appraisal. We're going to skip all that. We're just going to do a $9.99 flat rate, and we're going to refinance your loan for whatever the market allows us at this time. Usually takes like 2 weeks because all we got to do is check what their income is, make sure everything's still good, and do a credit pool, and then we can refinance at any point.
That's really awesome. In our area, though, I have noticed that a lot of our consumers, our clients, what they do is they find a beautiful piece of property and they haven't even thought about a home yet, but they want that property,
Right.
to take it off the market. So they buy it, they're paying on it, and slowly, maybe even the thought was they were going to build a home and they just never get there. What kind of programs do you have that can help them if they're still paying on the property and they want to put a home on there?
Yeah, so that will play right back into both the land in lieu or the home loan, land home combo. We will take it even if it has equity still owed on it, and we would roll it into the new loan. So if they've got positive equity on the land, for instance, and they can still do a land in lieu, even they might tell themselves, well, we owe money on the land. Well, I just had a client the other day who had a 12% rate on their land. And it was like, whoa, let's get you out of that and help you out here. They said, well, we still owe $40,000. I said, well, once we do the assessment, we'll be able to roll whatever positive equity is and help use that to offset whatever tier you were going to be in the first place. So there's still programs out there, like even if you're paying too much on that, maybe you could lower your land home payment or your land payment by rolling it in with one of these manufactured homes.
So it's a double whammy that we're helping them with.
Yes.
So you're helping them with an awesome rate on the house because the equity they built, but also you're saving them from that initial higher interest rate they got when they just bought the property.
Absolutely. And if you have enough equity in the house, you wouldn't even have to come out of pocket for a down payment or closing costs with us.
Wow. Okay. So there's a true zero down, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Just pay for the fees and that's it.
Yeah. Even
Awesome.
there, we'll roll those fees in outside of the appraisal. And so, we try to make that as consumer friendly as possible.
Another benefit for our customers that you were explaining when we first met was the simple construction feature. What is that? I mean, that's something that's a term that my clients don't know. A lot of my sales reps don't know. And how is that such a game changer?
So, with us, it is plays into our land home program, and why I think that is a big advantage in Texas, for instance. The land market's hot, and if you need a piece of land but the manufactured home of your dreams isn't quite ready, well, what our simple construction loan will do is you'll pick out the land that you want and the home, and we'll go and do a close that first time. Well, we'll do a draw right there to pay off whatever the land is, and that gives the manufacturer 120 days from that time to build and set and deliver that house. So it kind of will help them lock in, well, maybe we saw the land we want, but we don't have the money to purchase that out of pocket right now before we go get the manufactured home. That's okay. You pick out the land, you start this program, we can help you purchase that land before your home is ready and still give you plenty of time to make sure it's set up proper.
We do have some other competitors that do charge them during that time period, correct?
Right.
So is that something that you guys do?
We do not. So we give a full 120 days that is locked in for that whole period. The rate will always be locked in, but the consumer would not have to come out of pocket for anything else. I've heard some manufacturers are running 3 to 4 months right now. So we started making exceptions on those type of things.
That was gonna be my next question there. What are you guys doing to help the retailer? Because we're under the thumb of the factory when it comes
Right.
to build times. We want to help our customers, and we tell them a better value is taking a home that's already on our show lot.
Right.
But a lot of them they want to build it. They want to change their colors. There's nothing wrong with that. That's great. But we have some factories that are a little more popular than others.
And like you said, I mean, we're doing what we can for our retailer, trying to waive these type of fees and doing different things that we can to give you guys more flexibility, because Lord knows we're all under the big judgment of whatever the manufacturers are doing at that time.
That's cool. That's cool. Thank you. I want to say gift funds is going to be a biggie. A lot of parents out there, they want to help their kids if they're first-time home buyers. I've seen couples get married and family gives them all this money to use for a down payment. How do we handle that?
The days of having to collect 6 months of bank statements are over. Our loan advisor will give the customer a phone call and verbally verify where that source is coming from. The thought is, we're going into a long-term relationship. You're trusting us with this lending program. We're going to trust that whatever you tell us is how we verify it. And as our only rule with down payments, as long as it's not borrowed funds, we're okay.
Okay. So if it is a gift, we're not going to be chasing mom, dad, grandma for bank statements from them.
Correct.
Nothing like that.
As long as they fill out this one letter and sign it, we're just going to trust.
I'm giving you this money. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, no more bank statements, and we can take care of that whole thing with a simple phone call.
That's great. So the one loan program's changing the game. Gift down payments, land equity, land in lieu, special rates for landowners. Do you have a story where Credit Human really helps somebody in a way that really stuck with you?
Absolutely. I had a customer, let's call her Mrs. A. Mrs. A had been married for 50 years, and she had lost her husband after 50 years of marriage. And as her loan officer, I started to understand a little bit of her story, and she had shared that in that 50 years, she not once ever touched the finances. She was completely unaware of how much money she had. She was unaware of what was going to happen in the next few years.
That's really super common in our area.
And when she was lost, I was brainstorming to try to find different ways that we could help her. She was also in a place where she didn't trust anything because she had never been around, so she didn't want to share any of her personal information over text or email or fax. She wanted to meet in person, and I decided I was going to take some time out of my afternoon, and I drove to the location closest to her. I didn't want to put her in a position to have to drive all the way to the corporate office, so found which location was closest, and that's where we sat down in the financial health center and exchanged documentation. I introduced her to one of our financial health specialists and didn't hear back from her for a few weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, and thought, it's okay, the loan might not go anywhere, but I got a call from Mrs. A, and she said, Joseph, I'm ready to move forward with the loan. I said, oh, great news. She said, I also wanted to tell you that since we've met at this location, I've been talking to your financial health specialist, and she's been educating me on my finances. She's been helping me put myself back on track and understanding my position and where I'm at. Brightened up my day a little bit, and I was walking out of the financial health center, and she pointed at the financial health specialist that had been helping her and said, Joseph, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be getting a home. And if it wasn't for your financial health specialist, I would still be scared of my finances.
She was singing y'all's praises the whole time.
Yes, absolutely.
To everybody. And what I heard, it got back to the CEO. Is that correct?
It did. Word caught around, and they actually asked for me to share this story in front of the board along with all the higher ups inside of Credit Human.
That's awesome. So what would you say to somebody that's still on the fence, like the story you told, they're unsure of their financing, and they just probably think they'll never be able to do something like this.
If they think they can't do it, we're the perfect spot for them because we're going to give them the tools to show them how.
So, bottom line, if you think owning a home is out of reach, this is your wake up call.
Absolutely. Wake up and understand that there are options for you.
Joseph, thank you for coming. This was all great information. I've never seen a bank so personal with their clients before. And you guys are going to also help out the retailers in the same aspect, right? With the same care as well to help their customers get into a home with you guys, right?
Thank you for the compliment. I take pride in the place that I work at because of what we're trying to do. And it's understanding that you are our business partner and deserve that same level of personal care. Giving you the people like me to call and trusting that whatever the issue is, we're going to do our best to make sure you, the retailer, are well taken care of and answered in a timely manner.
That's cool. Now, when I went to go visit you at the main headquarters to plan all this out, I heard you talking with one of your clients in Spanish, right? And that was good Spanish too. What happened there? Where'd you learn that?
Soy de la frontera. I grew up in Eagle Pass, and I have brought in that culture with me everywhere I go. What's the old expression? You can take the boy out the border, but you can never take the border out the boy.
That's awesome. This is South Texas, so they're going to appreciate that, but I'm sure it's going to be appreciated all over Texas and the surrounding states as well. What other states do you guys do business in?
So we are currently in 43 states. So I think the better summary is what states are we not in right now?
Definitely.
We're in 43 states with our manufactured homes.
That's totally understandable as to why we rebranded. You're not SACU anymore. It's Credit Human.
Right.
So we're out of the San Antonio bubble, in other words.
Absolutely.
It makes sense.
We want to bring this product to anybody purchasing a manufactured home and anybody wanting to put themselves in a position for a successful and happy, and most importantly, a life with financial slack.
Great. So sum it all up. If you're listening right now and you feel like this might be the first step for you, don't wait. We have programs to help everybody, even if the rates are kind of scary, even if you don't understand your finances. Same with our representatives that are trying to help somebody get into a home. They're going to have the same care and understanding with them as well. Well, this was really, really great. Thank you for coming down, talking with us, sitting with us, Joseph. You can visit one of our websites, reach out to one of our representatives, and we can show you how to get in touch with Credit Human for a manufactured home loan. Thank you again for coming down.
Absolutely. My pleasure, and thank you for having me.